Well, 11:17 now, and Betsy, I feel like we have been spoiled to the point where now we start to get a little antsy. We start to say it's hot. We start to want the air conditioning on, you know, and it's only been this way for what, 2 days?
Right, and you said little Isla got her splash table or whatever.
She's got the splash table going, you know, she keeps saying hot, hot, but in fact the water is very cold from the hose.
Right? Anything you can do to keep cool. And please don't forget your pets too. It's very important to make sure they have plenty of water in a nice shady spot because we have another hot day coming tomorrow. It's going to be warm and bright to begin. Temperatures are going to be in the mid 60s at the start and quickly warming up. We'll probably be in the 80s by midday and upper 80s once again. As a matter of fact, I think we're going to be tiptoeing toward the records as we get into the afternoon. Still well into the 60s in Northeast Ohio. Now keep in mind, we are not sitting with tons and tons of humidity at this point. Our dew points are in the 50s, which is where we kind of start to feel that humidity, but it's not oppressively muggy. So these are the comfortable kind of numbers that we can handle when it comes to summer. It will get more humid in the coming days. We do have a bit of a change that's very slowly going to be moving our direction, but the dew points will be up into the 60s, especially this weekend. So it's going to start to feel a little bit sticky around here. We'll be inheriting this plume of moisture that is going from coast to border. You can see from deep south all the way up into Canada. These dark greens, that's where you get those dew points that are in the 60s and even the 70s. This whole batch of air, this whole soupy tropical air mass will slowly begin to slide to the east, but nothing is moving anytime soon, and that's because we don't have any real forcing mechanisms that's coming in and blasting through. You know, typically we would track a storm complex or some kind of a storm system that would keep things moving along, but we're in a very stagnant pattern right now. One storm system in the west, a big high out over the east coast in the western Atlantic, and that's just pushing all of this humidity northbound. Now, that being said, it's a storm system from the north that's going to pinch things just a little bit, and that looks to take place on Saturday into Sunday. So here's your National Designer hour-by-hour forecast. Big scale here. There's the plume. Notice how that rain keeps moving northbound, but by the time we hit tomorrow evening, we really have not seen any change. So we have another 24 hours of this pattern coming in. But you can kind of see how these rain showers and thunderstorms here are elongated from west to east. Watch as we get into Saturday and then Sunday. There's just a little push that starts to make things move a little bit farther south. We'll have a little wave possible late Saturday that could pop a few isolated showers and storms. We'll have a better chance on Sunday. The weekend is still not looking like a washout, though. As a matter of fact, I think it's looking pretty nice by summer standards. 89 for tomorrow. That is toasty, and it's going to be quickly moving into the 80s. Right to about the noon hour. So it's a quick jump that we have in your National Designer hour-by-hour forecast. Those southerly breezes with us. And yeah, we are going to be pushing toward the records. Matter of fact, I think Cleveland stands a very good chance to tie the record high. Mansfield and Youngstown, even down into tropical Dover and New Philadelphia, and the Akron-Canton Airport area will be very close. So we're tiptoeing, if you will. Here's your Union Home Mortgage forecast. You can see the heat is not going anywhere. We're staying in the mid and upper 80s as we move through. It's not going to be 83. As a matter of fact, I think we're going to be much warmer than that. But anywho, the long range forecast, as you can see, we kind of take temperatures down into the 70s next week. And for the start of Memorial Day weekend, Sarah, things are looking dry. We're going to keep an eye out for some isolated storm chances. But right now, fingers crossed, things are looking pretty good.
Let's hold on to that. All right. Thanks, Betsy.